तो भैया नमस्कार सुप्रभात सुप्रभात वेरी वेल गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू, है ना। और तो आइए शुरू करते हैं, है ना। सो आई लाइक इट, लेट्स मूव देन। ठीक है। तो मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स एंड बच्चों, क्या हाल चाल आपके? बहुत अच्छे हैं, मेरे बहुत अच्छे हैं। मेरे अच्छे नहीं है, देश के भी अच्छे नहीं, दुनिया के भी अच्छे नहीं है। तो आपके कहाँ से अच्छे होंगे बेटे? लेट्स स्टार्ट विद सम नेगेटिविटी। तो नेगेटिविटी क्या होती है ना? वी आर नॉट ट्राइंग टू क्लियर द यूपीएससी एग्जाम हेयर, let's not get fooled. We are trying to become, we are trying to make a dent. We are trying to show somehow, probably the world, that we are. Simple as that. Correct? So that is what we are doing here. So why not change the live description, sir? Why not change the title of the live? Why are you restricting yourself just to UPSC mains and then blah and blah and blah? Let's do it then, boys. Okay. Yeah, showing that we are alive. Yep, that's more like it. Yep, let's move. ठीक है जी। चलो बच्चों, फिर शुरू करते हैं। मतलब बच्चों बच्चों जो भी हो, बच्चों बुड्ढों जो भी हो, स्ट्राइक। सो नेगेटिविटी क्या होती है? नेगेटिविटी, नेगेटिविटी, यस, टू सम एक्सटेंट यू कैन, देखो नेगेटिविटी नहीं पता, बट कुछ चीजें तो होती हैं। ठीक है, इट्स लाइक when you are thinking about someone or something more and more, you become a little bit angry, you become too much obsessed, you can't think sanely, and also become overreactive as well. Ultimately, you take bad decisions, which ultimately strain your relationships, no matter the field or sport or whatever it is. And then ultimately, you kind of lose cohesion. And in the lack of it, you get beaten. Correct? As an individual or as well as a group. Let's move then. So bad decisions. We will talk about that. To be honest, I want to talk about the fan. So which one I will take? I don't know. Fan, cooler, AC, electricity, thermal, hydropower, nuclear and renewable. Correct? Ministry of Power. It's not that power, it's basically electrical power, but it's named like this. And then we have got discoms, distribution companies, and electricity act. There is electricity act 2003. For the thermal you need coal. So it appears that I do want to talk about electricity, so let's talk about it. Leave the bad decisions, because ultimately decisions are decisions, whether it is made at large scale by the central government through the general elections, by you in one way or the other collectively as a nation, and then also in international relations as well, taking some stand against Ukraine, China, US, Russia, and things like that. Or it can be very small scale, like whether to buy a fan or switch on a fan or not. राष्ट्र हित में ऊर्जा बचाएं. I like it. ठीक है जी. चलिए let's move. हाँ जी. So decisions, correct? It's decisions. Decisions are made by central government, state government, and your local representative as well, which you elect. Elect, my friend. Elect, not create. Let's mind the word. You do not create. You can't create in one sense. So your creativity limited. Your creativity is limited. You can only elect. You do not create them. At least not just 5 weeks before the election. Getting it? Okay. So you can elect though, and there you need to have some sort of choices. Otherwise, as far as the creation is concerned, for that then you will have to create a political party, and also political candidates have to be there. Choices. Otherwise, they go and make decisions in budget and deal with the economy and things like that. And this is how you give them the power to make big decisions, which ultimately affect then your small decisions. And this is how the circle goes. Correct? Let's move. Yep. Chances are that you live in India or maybe even abroad. Most likely you're gonna be part of some states, essentially like this. So India is a lot of states, they have got GSTP, which ultimately involves investment, which ultimately involves taxes, which ultimately also somehow involves fiscal deficit as well. State, state fiscal deficit. Let's move then again back. State level politics thus becomes important. Politics plus policies. In that we obviously have caste, religion, groupings, certain locations and regions, demography, and the other say economic development, I guess. And so on. In this, obviously, you need fiscal deficit and the GDP, especially GSDP. Correct or not? Very much important thing becomes investment. How it will happen, who it will do, and things like that. So, how do you attract the investment? This becomes a very crucial question. Correct? Let's move. The collection of GSDP will become GDP. Those of you who don't know about it, it is E written in reverse. Not reverse. E written in fixed form. No, it's sigma. That denotes collection of all the things involved. Okay, all the states GSDP. Okay. So, which one states are there? We have got the southern states, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and yes, this much is the southern sector largely. Southern states. Correct. Then we have got this Maharashtra and Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha, and then West Bengal, things like this. Correct. This kind of becomes central, northern, central India, things like that. Basically, north-south divide is certainly there. as far as India is concerned, and you can also keep some sort of east as well, or you can also divide in west and central as well, as far as 5 is concerned, at max. Correct. Now let's move. So, what we will talk about then more? Uh, ding 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 ding. Yep. So it appears that we have certainly become more interested in India here, and we have got a lot of states. We'll keep talking about states more and more, more and more, more and more, and obviously India's neighborhood as well, more and more. Anyways, Pakistan, China, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and things like that will certainly be there. And in all the cases, whether it be states, Pakistan, China, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, or Afghanistan, things like that, we will talk about their GDP naturally, investments coming, and the sectors in which they are coming, and obviously infrastructure as well, sector wise as well, service sector, manufacturing, and agriculture. And we will also talk about per capita GDP, and we'll talk about human development indexes as well, things like that. Or obviously we can talk about other things, but these things certainly are gonna be there, in which naturally budgets keep coming, budgets and schemes, laws, and even court decisions. They all keep coming as well. Correct? So this is the whole gamut of market and politics, economy and politics that keeps happening, keeps changing as well, kind of dynamic. It has a certain amount of static part as well, and in that bigger system and in that bigger ecosystem which keeps changing, your life is happening. This is you, and this is where the crucial equation is. Ultimately, we will come to it again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again. Correct? Let's move, and that is where you will have to show that you are alive. Correct? Let's move. Yeah. Okay, so what we have got, this is world, Asia, India, states, district, assembly seats, block, ward, your home, family members, then you, and then there is your career. This is how it is. Ultimately, at the end of the day, your career and your many things, your love life, your health, your your friends maybe, your individuality, and your community, and things like that, all the six that we have got. So in order for us to talk really good about this section, this one, I'm getting it. We have to talk on a regular basis about world, Asia, India, state, district, assembly seat, block, ward, house, family, and just like that. How much they are? One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 is equal to 6. You have to talk about the 10 to deal with the 6 aspects better. You see? I like it. Let's move. So I think this is something that we must keep with ourselves. Will I take the screenshot of it? I think I should. So I will take it. Give me a minute. इसे लूंगा इसको. Yes. Shoo shoo shoo. 10 versus 6. Hmm. Give me one more minute. Yep, that's more like it. So let's continue then. Yes, now it will be better like this. World and your life. Six aspects. Love, family, work, friends, community, and individuality. Is it right? One, two, three, four, five, six. Correct. I know it's gonna keep changing a little bit for a while, but we shall see. Yep, let's move. Hmm. It's not India and the world, it's you and the world. World, India, and you. You and the world. Hmm. Okay. तो भैया बढ़ते हैं जीवन में आगे. Hmm. Now, obviously, you can see that your life depends largely upon this one. We usually talk about states, India, Asia, and world. So, here is the division. Usually, we keep our discussion largely concentrated to this one. But this much, only four things we keep. No? World, Asia, India, and states. We usually do not get into this one. District assembly seat, block, ward, home, family, and things like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's like 4 plus 6 versus this 6. You do get affected a lot by this family and home, and also to a certain extent ward, block, and assembly seat as well. These 6 certainly become, at least 5 become very much important. District is too large to be honest. This is bigger. This is largely your city, most in the most cases. So these 5. So 4 plus 1 plus 5 versus 6. This is how it is. Okay, I'm gonna take a break here. Hmm. Yes. It's good. It certainly is good. I think we have certainly arrived at a crucial juncture for sure. Certainly we have arrived at it. What we will do with it? Your career, your individuality, your love life, your friends, your family, your community. It's your career, your community, your love life, your home, your friends, your individuality. Two, three, four, five, and six. And this is straight away dependent upon this one. Correct? Your family, and then your home, and then this ward or block, although it is this and this is this. Ward, because ward have more blocks. Ultimately, it leads to assembly seat, which are usually five in my case in the district. So it's assembly seat, and then the ward, and then after the district. This is the general election, state election, and this local representative. So these three become really crucial, right? Let's move then. District, assembly seat, and ward. This largely has obviously, Lok Sabha seat as far as Indian case is concerned. This goes in general elections, basically central government, state elections, and local elections. Correct. And then behind this we have got blocks. Behind it we have got home. Behind it we have got family. And then there are you. Then there is you. So one, two, three, and four. These intermediate structures do certainly wield control. So relationships between you and your family become very crucial in that obviously you have your at least three ones, mother, father, and siblings. Siblings may you may have obviously sister and brother. They can be younger or older, things like that. And then obviously there can be more as well. At least you can say there will be 100. So it appears that your relationships in your family become very crucial. You and 100 family members. This relationship is absolutely crucial ultimately for your life because this is gonna stay there. You can't really run away from it there. And in that process, obviously, it will be like this one 5 into 20. Yep, it is the case. As we apply the economic development thing to the world, or to Asia, or to India, or to state, or to a district, or to a Lok Sabha seat, or to a assembly seat, or to a ward, the same weight can also be applied to a family, a home, family, and you basically. Correct. So that economic development thing that we talk about here, from here to the way here and things like that, can certainly be brought towards the lowest level as well. Correct? Correct. I mean, there can be an individual GDP if we can talk about, our family GDP, or a ward GDP for that matter, or a block GDP, or an assembly seat GDP, or a district GDP, things like that. Lok Sabha GDP and things like that. Basically, that will involve investment naturally for it to grow. Correct. It will naturally also involve sectors as well: agriculture, services, and manufacturing. Correct? Correct. So the question becomes again clear, that how will you attract investment? And from whom? Naturally. The investment is not gonna rain. Correct? So investment is certainly is a question. From whom and in where, or where you will really do the investment. These kind of things. There naturally will be a technology in the society. Again, family, assembly seat, Lok Sabha seat, or the district, or you for that matter. Technology can be created or consumed or exported for that matter. For that, you will need to have understanding of science at least, especially the maths, physics. But that will not really suffice. You will need capital as well, and R&D, and a way to create and export. So it's not just about the knowledge as well. But without it, it can't happen either. So it is also about knowledge too, but not just about it. Yep. Xiao, Xiao, my friend. Xiao. Uh, because it naturally involves at least the knowledge, so you should learn about it. So somehow I think it will be good if somehow you make a relationship with the mathematics in one way or the another. You can't really go too far in terms of economic development or anything like that if you don't have a proper relationship with the mathematics, for that matter, and obviously naturally with the politics and all. So it's all about again making the right relationships first. Correct? Okay. So it's about you will have to make the right relationships. Right means naturally at least there will be, let's say you are missing four relationships right now. And we have obviously arrived at world to you level. We will go back again to the world as well. So keep that in mind. Sure, relationships. One is mathematics. We have identified it. Other is technologies. Third one could be politics. Fourth one can be markets as well, or economy for that matter. Sure. These four relationships you need to create, and politics and economics you will have by the newspaper, which is the Hindu is good for that. Technology and the mathematics. Technology also you can have from, in one sense, from the newspaper in one way or the another. Mathematics you will have to learn from the textbook in one way or the another. But naturally you will not be drawn towards it if you are not here. So relationship with the Hindu with the newspaper is must. Correct? Yes. For it to happen, for you to read, it has to be produced as well. Huh? Hmm. Demand and supply. So, as far as the world is concerned, we certainly need good newspapers. Correct? Let's move. So, we need to have relationship with good newspapers, and for that, these have to be created as well. Created and distributed. But if that is the case, if they're really so much crucial, then certainly they will be attacked as well. By whom and in what way, and then how to protect them. How to protect them, or how to make the newspapers better. These four questions are certainly there, and we are then slowly entering into creative action. Correct? Yep. We are certainly entering into it. Creative action. How do you make a newspaper better? Or how to protect a newspaper in the first place? I think it becomes, in one way or the other, clear that somehow you must ask the right questions. Because when you will ask the right questions, you will find the right answers. If you lose the capacity to ask the right questions, you will not get the right answer. So how do you get the right questions in your mind first? That is the core issue, is you and your questions. Yep. How do you make your questions better then? You see, we are not trying to clear UPSC here. Certainly not. How do you make your questions better? Or in the first place, how do you ask a question? Or why do you? How or why do you ask a question? Secret is the sort. Yep, I can see it. So this is the case. And then, hmm, for you to ask a question, for you to ask a question, there has to be you, and you must be thinking about something. Only then you can answer what it is and what will happen to this and how it works and things like that. You have got a relationship with something, correct? Only then you keep asking questions about it. And chances are then that when you are asking the questions, when you are asking questions about it, you are quite attached there as well. Somehow you don't want to lose. Correct, correct. And maybe after some time you will find out that you were attached there and that you don't want to lose it, and because of that you are thinking, and because of that you are saying things and doing things, and then ultimately getting into conflict and troubles and things like that. So ultimately then you will ask the question that how do I stop thinking about it? But that is coming when you are feeling as if that you are separate from this thing, at least psychologically, or you feel that there is something called you there. But while the truth actually is that because of this something is in your mind, that's why you are having this notion that you are there. So essentially, observer is the observed, or thinker is the thought, or without the thought there is no thinker. So then there is no point of asking the question how to stop thinking, or how do I stop the thinking. Hmm. Right. So one thing I can see that I'm gonna come here from the Hindu or the economics and politics and things like that. I'm gonna slip here to this freedom thing or the creative thing, things like that. I'll continue it here, don't worry. So it seems like that what will happen when you realize that without when without the thought there is no thinker. What will happen then in terms of the newspaper? What questions will be coming in your mind then? Things like that essentially. Then you will not be thinking about something, and then what you will be thinking about? Hmm. Critical question. This is in the before what is happening here, they're asking about your questions and the newspapers, good newspapers, how they're attacked, how your questions are attacked, and then how do you ask the right questions, why do you ask questions in the first place. Essentially, when you stop asking a question, it can be said, or, and that question obviously naturally is surrounded around one thing or one person or things like that. Then you naturally, to be honest, it appears that you will ask some different questions about something different. So it's like this. These are the things maybe that newspapers generally report about, and somehow you also want to read about, somehow you also don't want to lose. And once you become psychologically creative, then you start asking about different things. Different questions means different things. Correct? So once you gain internal freedom, once you gain freedom internally, Your questions are changed. And then chances are that maybe you can start finding answers of those questions and then also start publishing answers of those questions as well. So somehow it might involve starting a newspaper itself ultimately. You frame the questions, you write the answers, or make a team around it, and then they write the answers, and then they distribute. And the ones, the questions that really need to be heard by others are then heard. Correct? Slowly you create a different community there, and that's how it becomes ultimately. Correct? So, but for that to happen, naturally you will have to lose your job or change your job for that matter. But all this starts with you getting the internal freedom first. And it starts by stopping some questions, stopping to ask some questions, which essentially leads to stopping to ask some questions about something or about someone. And then you start thinking about something else and someone else. Correct? That's how you ask the right questions or better questions, and then that is how you protect the newspaper or make the newspaper better. Correct? Hmm. But it can't happen without you getting internal freedom first. How to get it? It appears as if that along with the IR, we'll keep talking about you as well, that how you create the IR, and then we'll talk about how the IR creates you. And that's how it is gonna happen. The Catch-22 between you and IR. We have arrived. We can change it now. This is a few minutes more and then we will take a different session. I think we have got what we were looking for here. That IR saves you, but at the same time you also save the IR as well. We need a channel or a place where we can discuss both, where we can really see how the external becomes the internal. And then we will see that how by changing in the internal, we change the external because it is related to the Catch-22. That's how I guess we are going to proceed here, most likely, and we shall see. Correct? Yep. Naturally, we will start with asking some very different questions. But naturally, it will involve a decent discussion about what is happening externally and how it is affecting us internally, and how by and what how or in what way we should focus our work or our time, energy and attention here. And then some questions will be created, and then in the pursuit of asking or trying to find the answers of those questions, ultimately we will find that we have started affecting externally as well. I guess chances are that this is what is going to happen in the coming sessions. That's going to happen. That's what we'll see. Okay, bye.